Hey there, I'm Lena Martinez, a 33-year-old graphic designer trying to balance work, family, and some serious in-law drama. Let me fill you in on what's been going on. My daughter Sophia just turned 7. She's the absolute light of my life. My husband Alex and I have been planning her birthday party for weeks now. You should see how her eyes sparkle every time we talk about it. It's like Christmas morning all over again. Mommy, can I invite Zoe and Emma, and maybe Lucas too? Sophie asked, bouncing with excitement. Of course, sweetie. We'll make sure all your friends get invitations, I said, ruffling her hair. Alex chimed in with a grin. This is going to be the best party ever, princess. But here's where things start to get complicated. My in-laws, Vivian and Robert Thompson, and I, well, let's just say we don't exactly see eye to eye. They have this annoying habit of playing favorites with their grandkids, and their golden child is my nephew, Ethan. He's 9, and to hear them tell it, the sun practically shines out of his you-know-what. I remember last Christmas, Vivian was gushing over Ethan's macaroni art like it was a masterpiece, barely glancing at Sophia's handmade card. Oh, Ethan, you're so talented. This belongs in a museum, she cooed while Sophia's little face fell. It took everything in me not to say something. So when it came time to plan Sophia's party, I knew I had to bite the bullet and ask Vivian if we could use their place. They've got this huge house that would be perfect for a kid's party. I procrastinated as long as I could, but finally, I made the call. Hey Vivian, it's Lena, I said, trying to sound upbeat. Oh, hello Lena, she replied, sounding about as thrilled as if I were trying to sell her a vacuum cleaner. Sophia's birthday is coming up, and we were wondering if we could use your place for her party. It would be perfect with all that space, I said. There was a long pause. I could practically hear her rolling her eyes through the phone. I suppose that would be all right, she said finally, as if she were doing me the biggest favor in the world. Great, thanks so much. We were thinking the 15th. Does that work? She mumbled. Listen, Lena, I've got to run. We'll talk details later. And just like that, she was gone. No asking about Sophia, no excitement about her granddaughter's birthday. I hung up the phone, feeling that all too familiar mix of frustration and disappointment. Alex took one look at my face and knew. Your mom again? He asked, wrapping an arm around me. Yeah, I sighed. Sometimes I wonder if she even cares about Sophia at all. Hey, don't let them get to you, Alex said, giving me a reassuring squeeze. We're going to throw Sophia an awesome party, with or without their enthusiasm. I nodded, trying to shake off the negativity. We had a party to plan, after all, and nothing, not even my ice-cold in-laws, was going to ruin it for my little girl. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of a birthday drama that would change everything. 2 weeks before Sophia's big day, I called Vivian to finalize the details. I was feeling pretty good, thinking maybe we were finally getting somewhere. Hi Vivian, it's Lena. Just wanted to touch base about Sophia's party next Saturday. There was a long pause on the other end. Oh, about that, she began, and my stomach dropped. I knew that tone. It never meant anything good. We've actually scheduled Ethan's birthday party for that day, so we won't be able to host Sophia's party after all. It felt like I'd been punched in the gut. What? But we've been planning this for weeks. Sophie's been looking forward to it for months. Well, Ethan's party has been in the works for quite some time. It simply slipped my mind when you called earlier. Surely you understand that his party takes precedence. He is older, after all. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Are you serious right now? Sophia is your granddaughter too. How could you do this to her? The argument escalated quickly. Vivian kept insisting that Ethan's party was more important and that they couldn't possibly change the date now. It was like talking to a brick wall. Then came the real kicker. Besides, we've already called Sophia's friends' parents and told them the party was canceled. I saw red. You did what? How dare you go behind our backs like that? After hanging up, I was shaking with anger and disbelief. How was I going to tell Sophia? The thought of breaking her heart was almost unbearable. When I finally sat her down and explained, her little face crumpled. But Mommy, why don't they want to have my party? Did I do something wrong? No, baby, no. You didn't do anything wrong, I said, pulling her close. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes and bad decisions, but we'll figure something out, okay? Alex was stunned when I told him. At first, he couldn't believe his parents would do something like this. But as the reality sank in, I saw a fire in his eyes that I'd never seen before. "I'm going over there right now," he said, grabbing his keys. I wanted to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. When he came back, he looked drained but determined. "They're not budging. I can't believe they're choosing to hurt their own granddaughter like this." The next day, I ran into Michael at the grocery store. I couldn't hold back and confronted him about the situation. "Oh, come on, Lena. It's not that big a deal. Sophia's only 7. She probably won't even remember this birthday anyway. Ethan's party has been planned for months. You can't expect everyone to draw everything for your kid," he said nonchalantly. I was fuming. "She's your niece, Michael. Don't you care about her feelings at all?" He just shrugged and walked away, leaving me standing there, speechless and seething. Later that week, I stopped by my in-laws' house to pick up some of Sophia's toys she'd left there. As I approached the door, I overheard voices coming from the open window. "I can't believe Lena made such a fuss," Vivian was saying. "It's not our fault Sophia isn't as bright or talented as Ethan. Why should we have to pretend otherwise?" "Exactly," Michael chimed in. "And let's be honest, Lena and Alex aren't exactly Parents of the Year material. No wonder Sophia's so ordinary." It felt like I'd been slapped. Is that really what they thought of us? Of my sweet, beautiful Sophia? Over the next few days, I noticed Sophia becoming more withdrawn. Her teacher called, concerned about her sudden drop in grades and participation. It broke my heart to see her light dimming, all because of the cruelty of people who were supposed to love her unconditionally. That night, as I tucked her in, Sophia looked up at me with sad eyes. "Mommy, why don't Grandma and Grandpa love me like they love Ethan?" In that moment, I knew something had to change. This wasn't just about a birthday party anymore. It was about protecting my daughter from the toxic influence of people who clearly didn't have her best interests at heart. I kissed her forehead, my mind already racing with plans. "They're the ones missing out, sweetie," I whispered. "But don't you worry. Mommy's going to make sure everything turns out okay." After that night with Sophia, I knew I couldn't stay silent any longer. It was time to expose Vivian and Robert's toxic behavior once and for all. I started digging through old photos, videos, and emails, documenting every instance of their blatant favoritism and mistreatment. There was the Christmas where Ethan got a brand new bike while Sophie received a coloring book. The family picnic where Vivian fawned over Ethan's every move but barely acknowledged Sophia's presence. It was all there in black and white. I reached out to our family friend Sarah, who had witnessed some of these incidents firsthand. "Lena, I've been biting my tongue for years," she confessed. "The way they treat Sophia, it's not right. Count me in." Other friends came forward too, each with their own stories of Vivian and Robert's cruel behavior. It was like opening the floodgates. When I told Alex about my plan, he was hesitant at first. "Lena, are you sure about this? They're still my parents." "Look at our daughter, Alex," I said, pointing to Sophia's closed door. "She's hurting. We need to protect her." The next day, Sophia's teacher called again. Her grades were slipping further. That was the tipping point for Alex. "Okay," he said, his jaw set. "Let's do this." As I was gathering evidence, I stumbled upon something unexpected. While going through some old papers Alex had brought home from his dad's office, I found some questionable financial records. The numbers didn't add up, suggesting Robert might be involved in some kind of fraud. "Holy crap," I muttered, staring at the documents. This was bigger than I'd anticipated. I debated what to do with this information. It felt like dynamite in my hands. Finally, I decided to make an anonymous tip to a local investigative reporter known for exposing corporate misconduct. "I got a story for you," I said when she answered. "It involves family drama, favoritism, and potential fraud at Thompson Industries." The reporter, Jessica, was intrigued. "Can you provide any evidence?" "I can do one better," I replied. "How'd you like to witness it all firsthand?" That's when Alex and I hatched the plan for a family reunion at our house. We invited all the extended family and close friends, including Vivian, Robert, and Michael. The stage was set. As the day approached, we prepared our presentation, videos, photos, testimonials from friends, all ready to expose the truth. It was all there, a comprehensive showcase of years of cruelty and favoritism. The night before the reunion, Alex and I sat at the kitchen table, going over everything one last time. "Are you nervous?" I asked him. He nodded slightly. "A little, but you know what? I'm more excited to finally stand up for our family, for Sophia. I squeezed his hand. Me too. It's time they face the consequences of their actions. As we were about to head to bed, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Jessica, the reporter. Got your tip. Did some digging. This goes deeper than you think. I'll be there tomorrow. This story is going to blow up. I showed Alex the message. His eyes widened. Looks like we're in for one hell of a family reunion, he said. I nodded, a mix of anticipation and nervousness churning in my stomach. Tomorrow, everything would change. The truth would finally come out, and Vivian and Robert would have to face the music. As I checked on Sophia one last time before bed, I saw her peaceful sleeping face and felt a surge of determination. This was for her, for every tear she'd shed, for every moment of self-doubt caused by her grandparents' cruelty. Tomorrow, we'd set things right. I kissed her forehead softly. Sleep tight, sweetie, I whispered. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. The day of the family reunion arrived, and as expected, Vivian, Robert, and Michael swaggered in, noses held high. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what was to come. Everyone, thank you for coming, I began, my voice surprisingly steady. Today we're going to talk about what family really means. I launched into my speech, laying bare years of hurt and favoritism. Then I hit play on our presentation. Gasps filled the room as photo after photo, video after video, exposed the truth. How dare you? Vivian screeched, but her protests were drowned out by the murmurs of shock and disgust from the other guests. Just then, Jessica, the reporter, walked in. Mr. Thompson, I'd like to ask you about some financial discrepancies at your company. Robert's face went pale. I don't know what you're talking about, he stammered. Oh, really? Jessica pressed. Because I have documents suggesting otherwise. In his panic, Robert blurted out, it was just a few adjustments to the books, nothing serious. The room fell silent. Then sirens wailed in the distance as the police arrived to question Robert. Vivian and Michael tried to spin the situation, but their manipulation only served to alienate them further. Amid the chaos, I felt a tug on my sleeve. It was Sophia, her eyes wide. Mommy, what's happening? I knelt down beside her. We're making things right, sweetheart. Suddenly, Aunt Linda spoke up. Enough of this drama. Sophia, honey, isn't it your birthday soon? Why don't we celebrate that instead? The mood in the room shifted as Robert was led away and Vivian and Michael skulked out. The rest of the family rallied around Sophia. Impromptu decorations appeared, a cake was ordered, and soon laughter filled the air. In the weeks that followed, Robert faced legal consequences for his fraudulent practices. Vivian and Michael found themselves excluded from family events, their toxic behavior no longer tolerated. Alex and I made the difficult but necessary decision to cut ties with his parents. We focused on creating a loving, supportive environment for Sophia. A year later, we celebrated Sophia's next birthday surrounded by true family and friends. Her laughter echoed through the house as I watched her blow out her candles, her eyes shining with joy. I knew we'd made the right choice. Our little girl was flourishing, free from the shadow of her toxic grandparents, enveloped in genuine love and support. The story has come to an end. Now I have a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have exposed your in-laws' behavior publicly or tried to handle it privately? What do you think are the long-term consequences of either choice? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences and opinions could help others facing similar situations.